Jocko's Protein Cookie. I don't know why, but it seems companies have quit reaching out to me to review their products. Glorified grass-fed meatloaf cake. And it still tastes like dog shit. How do you do that? You get a fuck you out of 10. Except for Brian Littlefield with Jocko's Company, even when I told him it would have to be an honest review. And in my opinion, that
express balls and a long-term vision for the future.
So let's see if it pays off for Mr. Willick. Cost, macros, taste. Let's do this thing. For cost, while I got mine for free, you can get a 12-pack of these online for $29.99, which comes out to $2.49 per cookie. And even though I admittedly have a man crush on Jocko Willick, that's still gonna give him a 5 out of 10 on cost. The cookie picks up steam on macros though. It does have one of the better CTPs on a protein cookie I've seen at 15. It does only have 1 gram of fiber, but 0 grams of added sugar. And while it doesn't factor into the macro score, this has some of the most natural ingredients I've seen in a protein cookie. The most artificial thing in here is allulose, but that's still a natural sweetener. With all that said though, it still gets a 7 out of 10 on macros. For texture, when you pull this out of the package, it actually looks the most like a real cookie I have seen a protein cookie look like. And you get the same exact effect when you go to bend this thing in half. It looks like a soft, chewy chocolate chip cookie, so let's hope it tastes like that. Okay, even though this thing looks soft and I normally always go straight out the package, when half of the package tells me to microwave this thing for 8 to 10 seconds, I'm gonna follow instructions.
I understood the assignment.
Okay, one of the rare times in life I followed instructions. This thing does look melty and immaculate as soon as you microwave this thing. So here we go. Jesus balls. First bite, a lot of different emotions. That chocolate is very unique. It almost has a liquor Bailey's type taste to it. Looking at the ingredients, the first ingredient for their chocolate chips is a chocolate liqueur. If you don't like Bailey's, you won't like this thing. Damn, Brian, you trying to get me lit or some shit, dude?
Let's get up shots, baby.
I'll report back if I get a buzz. Outside of that chocolate liqueur taste, the chewy texture of it is fucking perfect. When I go for a cookie, I want a soft, chewy cookie. I don't want no hard cookie. I want me a soft, flaccid cookie. That is nice, soft, and flaccid. While I wish the macros were just a little bit better, that compensation on the macros is what gets you that taste and that soft, chewy texture. I'm giving that a 9 out of 10. That is really, really good. Averaging the 3 stats for the Jocko Protein Cookie takes it to a 7 out of 10, but between being the best tasting protein cookie I've had and once again my man crush I have on Jocko Willick, I'm taking that up to an 8.5 out of 10. While a 5 out of 10 on cost sounds bad, it's still cheaper than Lenny and Larry's and it's cheaper than Quest. When it comes to macros for the 7 out of 10, to have a good tasting protein cookie, you need to have a certain amount of fat in there, so that's why it's gonna get a 7 out of 10 and still taste as good as it does. So overall, I recommend for sure, and I love you, Jocko.